and all to the weekly recess. I'm Mitchell Lea alongside Brandon Tew, Connor VanDemark, and Tommy. He's MIA this week. I think he said he was in Disney World or Lollapalooza or something like that. Yeah. So we're just going to avoid talking about the Dolphins and in turn avoid talking about the Jets for week 14. No, we'll get to that just later. Let's start off with the Thursday night game. NFC North has kind of been the story of the NFL season in a lot of ways, and that Packers-Lions game is one of the better Thursday night matchups that we've had in recent memory. Lions get the win 34-31. The big thing everyone was talking about after this game, Dan Campbell with, I want to say it was like 30 seconds left, 4th and inches, and he doesn't kick and give the Packers, 26 seconds with no timeouts to get in field goal range. He puts the offense on the field, goes for it on 4th down, and they convert and kick the field goal with no time left. Dan Campbell, have you ever seen anyone like this man?
Oh, yeah. That was just good football. Like here's the thing. If you screw up, yeah, your defense, you still have to make a stop, no matter what.
Right.
But if they succeed in this 4th and inches play, which they have David Montgomery, who's a great, downhill runner, who's going to bust through guys.
And they have Penny, so...
Yeah. And a fantastic offensive line.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
That's something that's a coach believing in his team and knowing if they succeed in this play, which I would say has a 70% chance of success, you win the game, you take that.
Right. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's an identity thing. I think 31 of 32 teams they kick the ball there.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. I don't know if there's many coaches who are like, I'm going to take the 3 points off the board to try to ice the game here.
No,
I just
at least
Philly would do it.
Well, with the tush push, they would do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say Baltimore would as well. Baltimore.
So the number,
especially
I guess,
with the way Tucker's missing kicks.
Maybe it's not 31 and 32, but the number of teams is on your one hand. How many teams?
Yeah, I'll say 5 or 6. I'm following.
Right, you know what I mean. So it's just
maybe
but also, maybe McVay, but it's also sticks to your identity. This is who Dan Campbell is. This is what they've decided to be. They were going to go for it on 4th. They're going to run the ball hard. Like I was saying, when you have one of the best tackles in football, just literally turn around and run over his backside. Or if you have one of the best guards in football, and they do, just run over their backsides and just fall forward. I mean, it's almost like the tush push in Philly. It's an unstoppable play at that point. I would, like you said, 70-75% chance to make that. So I would go for it every single time if I was them.
Now one could spin zone here and say it's a lack of faith in his team because it's a lack of faith in the defense. But I don't think that's the case.
Sounds like
no,
a TMZ.
I
don't think that's the case.
That is to me. I would even disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's more so the fact that it's more so I want to win this game now versus OT and letting it.
But also, I think it is a little bit of a sign of respect, maybe a hat tip to Jordan Love. Because if you have Mac Jones on the other side,
give him the
you're
ball back.
It doesn't matter. We'll kick and we know you're not doing anything.
We'll take a knee. Go. It's fine, you know what I mean? We don't give a fuck.
And it is one of those things where if you're playing a mediocre or average quarterback, you're probably not going to take that risk. But when you do have a good quarterback that can move the ball on the other side, you're more likely to take those chances.
Mitchell just dropped out.
I think it's because you was talking.
Did I just cut out?
Yeah, you cut out for a second. So you said when you have a good quarterback, you can probably start there.
When you have a good quarterback on the other side of the field, you can take that chance because you know that if he gets the ball, something might happen.
Yeah, no, I mean that's also a fair point. Like, I mean, you're probably not taking a knee to go to overtime if you're facing Mac Jones, but like the point stands that I don't think they're scared of Mac Jones on the other side.
I would love to see that one of those days and just the coach going like, yeah, yeah, we don't give a damn.
I actually want this 5 minute.
I want overtime. Give me the harder road. Yeah. And we'll give you the ball first.
It would never happen because I think a coach would get fired for it. But
tell the Georgia.
That would,
right. They pull Georgia. They're bad. Just like, let's go to 7 overtimes and just continue to play over and over again. But yeah, no,
and
the Lions are the Lions.
We'll talk a lot more.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, Lions 12-1, Packers 9-4. Both of these teams are going to be forces in the
NFC
playoffs.
North is insane. Like this is like the first, like I forget the actual stat, but it's something where in like the longest time, both like 3 teams have 9 wins this late in the season. It's like crazy that like all 3 of these teams are that good. And everyone keeps talking about how the Vikings keep like, skating by, but hey, they keep winning games, man.
Let's talk about the Vikings. It was not skating by against the Falcons, particularly in that second half. Sam Darnold, look, I know a lot of people like to make fun of the Jets and to a lesser extent the Panthers about and avoid the 49ers, because I'll tell you, if Sam Darnold had played like that for the Niners last season,
Brock Purdy would not be a thing.
That's a Super Bowl winning team.
Right.
Because Sam Darnold threw the ball better in this game than I've ever seen him throw it. He threw the ball down the field with confidence. Mm-hmm. And like, look, there were some times where like there was a route where Justin Jefferson just had the Falcons cornerback, I don't want to say in hell, but like on another planet. He was looking in the wrong direction. Like he might have been on like edibles or something. It was bad. But Darnold, 5 touchdowns, 347 yards. The Vikings just high octane, pulling away from Atlanta, and this is an 11-2 football team.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like people are almost like mad about the fact that they're 11-2. It's like the Chiefs in the same way. They're like, how is this team 11-2? And it's like, well, maybe they're just good and maybe they just close games because like that's what good teams do. So
I think the Vikings need to be taken just as seriously as the Packers, and I might even say more so. I know they have the better record right now, but when it comes to playoffs, the Packers, that team, even the younger guys, they went on a bit of a run last year, but this Vikings team, to a large extent, is very similar to the team that was the 3 seed a couple of years ago, but I think they're way more legitimate than that team. That team was shrinking in big moments and barely pulling by. Like they had that game where they were down like 28-0 to the Colts and they came back and won that game. This Vikings team is putting teams away, and I just really enjoyed watching Sam Darnold lately. Now the Falcons might be in trouble.
I mean, I don't want to be mean to Kirk Cousins, but he's physically not.
He has a $180 million contract. It's not like he's going to.
That's fair.
He'll be fine.
He has money,
Make fun of him.
It's just like he's physically not there. And like we were talking about last week, like he can't plant and he can't throw with any velocity, and it's just bad. He also doesn't have a receiver that like breaks the game open the way like Jefferson does for Darnold. Not to take this to like
not to the Jefferson extent, but I think that Drake London could be that guy.
You think you can just throw the ball up to Drake London and he'll just like go dunk on someone? Because I feel like Justin Jefferson, you can do that.
You should be able to do that with Drake London. I don't know whether it's him or the quarterbacks he's played with. That it's just been inconsistent. But Darnell Mooney has been really good for the Falcons this season.
He has.
Kyle Pitts again. I
don't know how you waste it. Like the word generational gets thrown around a lot in terms of like talent evaluation, and I don't think Kyle Pitts reached generational maybe evaluation levels, but that is like one of the best like college.
He definitely did at the time.
Senior. And I how do you waste that? Like I don't know.
I don't think I think that at the beginning it was a waste, and now I just think that he's a bust.
He just
And like he's still like a starting level player,
he's just
but
not Tony
he was
Gonzalez,
he was picked number 4
Jimmy
overall. He was the
Graham.
highest. He was the highest drafted non-quarterback of that draft, right before Jamar Chase, before Penei Sewell, before Micah Parsons, before Pat Surtain II.
Right. Mitchell,
And
he's
that's
such a
insane.
physical freak that I don't even know what the comp for him in like comping him out of college would be. Like he was like a Greg Olsen type player, but I don't think he's like as consistent as Greg Olsen, like blocking and passing catching wise. But like he's in that realm. Like he was one of the best pass blockers and one of the best pass catchers. And it was
I
like this
heard
guy can
people
do
say-
everything.
I heard people say like Calvin Johnson with with the sliders turned down a little bit.
Right. That's a good. I mean, that's a good
And
one.
like,
I mean,
come
no.
on.
Do I think he's Gronk? Like, no. But Gronk, like, is in another category. Like George Kittle, like the stuff George Kittle does. Like that's what I
Pitts should be
expected out
able
of
to do
Kyle
that
Pitts.
stuff.
Yeah. Like this dude's gonna manhandle tackles and offensive linemen. He's gonna hold his own against them, and then he's gonna go out and run routes and have this catch radius that's just bigger than everyone else, and it just hasn't translated. Like I don't understand it. And then you have Bijan Robinson in the backfield, and it's like that guy is also
Yeah.
like a very good running back. I really wouldn't care who's quarterback if you got any like semblance of average quarterback play, and they're just not getting that from Cousins right now. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're not getting that. Like keep in mind too that he also he's dealing with a shoulder and elbow injury as well, and like. I think just honestly at this point, like you're still kind of fighting for a playoff spot, but like
you can say it,
somewhat, but like start a was it
Michael Penix.
Yeah, I was making sure it was like it's Penix, right? Like I was pretty sure it was Penix.
There's so many QBs
in the
that
car door.
Yeah, there's so many QBs in that QB room. Like I remember when Felipe Franks was on that team. Like there's so many QBs in that room.
I remember when Josh Rosen was in that QB room.
Josh Rosen was in that QB room. It's just like literally find anyone who can give you anything in the quarterback position, and you'd probably be fine.
How about the guy you picked 8th overall?
How do you take him 8th overall and not go to him? Like, I get that you paid Kirk Cousins all this money and you're trying to respect him, but this is a business. This is football.
Yeah.
And other guys have families to feed. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry.
A family man, Brandon.
If you're that bad at quarterback, like, you're not going to win games.
And the thing too is like with the Falcons, like they've been like kind of stuck in the mud for like how many years now, and like you kind of hope that they will get better. And like I had some high hopes from this year, and I just haven't really seen anything from them. Like even with Kyle Pitts, like could it just be like a system thing for him, or is it like a developmental thing? Like is it just like that, like the systems that the coaches he's had are just garbage, and like if he gets traded to a different team, will we actually see a better player overall? Like
a Jimmy Graham level pass catcher, like in 3 years. Yeah.
That's one of the things when it comes to football that really intrigues me is that there are so many different variables when it comes to like rating a player. If you like let's say for example, like if you put Mahomes on the Panthers, like how much better would he look or worse? Like we see him this year, he's playing, he's doing what he has to do, but like there's always a value on when it comes to quarterbacks or wide receivers. Like wide receivers are so dependent on their quarterbacks, but the quarterback himself is not getting good protection, then he's having his own issues. Like there's so many different layers to it that it's kind of hard to separate an individual's talent. And then when it comes to a college prospect as well, like it's so many layers to that.
Yeah, there's so many. Like I've talked to Mitchell about this, and I'll kind of say here, like I've talked to people, and there's only a handful of players that break schemes, and like you could put them in any NFL scheme, and they would be like the best player on the field. That's not really a thing when it comes to football. But if you get guys in like the right fit in the right scheme, then they take off. So like Micah Parsons would be a great example of you put that guy in any scheme, any fit, he could he could play like anywhere. Like it doesn't
He
matter.
was supposed to be a stand-up linebacker. He wasn't
Right.
supposed to be an edge rusher. That was out of necessity because they kept getting all the injuries, and then Micah Parsons is now one of the best edge
Micah
rushers
Parsons
in
is
football.
Micah Parsons. Yeah. So there's only certain dudes who transcend that, and like yeah, it's probably like 5% of the league does, but the other 95%, you kind of have to be in the right fit in the right scheme. And like going back to Darnold, like that's I mean I think he's in the right spot. Like I think they're letting him like throw the football with confidence, and when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson, you can like throw the ball, out there. Not to bring up something recent, Mitchell, but did you see AJ McCarron's like podcast interview where they were like,
why
talking
the hell
about,
would I have seen AJ McCarron's podcast?
this is gonna be relevant. He was on a podcast and they were talking about like Saban like getting mad at him during a play and like slapping him on the backside and was like, why was he yelling at you? And he said he was mad at him because he threw the post when like the dig was clearly open. And then AJ McCarron said, if you don't want me to throw the post there, then don't put Julio Jones on the field one-on-one because I'm going to throw that post every single time. And then Saban was like, yeah, you're right. I would probably throw the same ball. So, yeah, like that's Justin Jefferson. Like, don't put Justin Jefferson on the field if you don't want me to throw a one-on-one, like, post shot. Like, that's what Darnold's doing is he's just throwing, like, post shots up down the field, and Justin Jefferson's getting open on, like, big dig routes. And then, he's absolutely annihilating dudes. And, like, yeah, he finally scored last week, but, like, he's still one of the best receivers in football. Like, it's crazy.
So, Brandon, what's my famous quote regarding good teams and bad teams?
If you want to be a good team, you have to beat the bad teams.
This is
that
no,
it?
you messed
Is that
it
it?
up.
I messed it up.
You butchered it. You butchered it. Okay, so the saying goes, that I created is, if you don't beat the bad teams, you become them.
The bad teams? Is that the San Francisco 49ers stuff?
No, we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, who are now in first in the NFC South ahead of the Atlanta Falcons. Now they're on a 3-game winning streak. Those 3 teams that they've beaten are the New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, and Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know.
Arguably 3 of the bottom 5 teams. I think the Panthers aren't bottom 3, but they're still bad, even though they're fighting.
Let's say bottom 3rd.
I mean, let's just
I'd still say Carolina's bottom 6 or 7.
Carolina's like bottom 6. I will say, let's just make this really simple. Let's make this really simple.
Bryce Young has been getting let down by his team.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's fair.
Who would have thought we would say that at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, who thought we would be saying that?
Very true. Yeah, Xavier Legette left his hands, I don't know, when he was hunting for raccoons.
The Bucs are very simple to talk about. Baker Mayfield has really huge nuts.
Testicles,
that dude is a baller.
Cojones.
And that is why, cojones. That is why they are winning ball games.
And I don't even think he's played all that well this year. I thought he played significantly better last season.
But I also think the supporting cast around him.
I was going to say, they're getting so much more from that run game than they got last year. Like, Rachaad White is having a better year, but a lot of that is having to do that Bucky Irving has taken so much off of his plate, and in the majority of the games lately has been the best. RB1.
Yeah,
and he's been fantastic, because last year the Bucs ground game was bottom 3 at best. It might have been the worst run game in football. It was really bad. So Baker doesn't have to, go scorched earth on teams and because he's a little banged up as well. He got hurt in that Panthers game.
Yeah, but when it matters, Baker Mayfield makes the play, and I think
he's a gamer. That's the best word I would use to describe him. He's a gamer, and he's gonna come out and give you your best shot regardless. And some days that's better than others, but against teams like the Giants, Panthers, and Raiders, you know that someone like Baker Mayfield's gonna be able to go out and handle his business, because he goes out and approaches every game the exact same way. So he's not
run over the student.
Exactly, yeah. Run. He approaches the game like Marshawn Lynch. I'm going to run through motherfucker's face. That's what he does.
Right.
obviously not quite physically the same way that
I'll
Marshawn
send
Lynch did
you.
for
I'll
physical
send you
reasons,
a.
but
I'll send you a reel after this, Mitchell. It's really funny. It's about Baker Mayfield, and it's just like a highlight tape of him at Oklahoma, and it's just him being like absolutely a menace. Like that's who he is. Like that.
He's an animal.
Yeah, I mean he's an
I
animal.
love it so much.
Yeah, I like Baker so much.
let's talk about
that's
that
who he is.
Panthers Eagles game.
Oh, I don't.
Hold on,
We
before
can talk about the Eagles a little bit more than the Panthers if you'd like.
Yeah,
Brandon.
I just.
Hold on. Before we cut to there,
Go ahead,
I do want to mention this too, because speaking of Atlanta, but previously, that Atlanta loss is huge because it kind of gives Tampa Bay the driver's seat because they need
it
the
does.
tiebreaker. Because
however, we will get into why that might not be huge coming up in the pick segment because their opponents are very different in week 15, and Tampa's going to start having to play some actual teams coming up on their schedule.
Fair.
No, okay, I wouldn't say that at all. They don't have those Chargers. That's it. The Cowboys is an actual team.
That's the next.
Yeah,
fair.
We want to talk about picks. The Carolina Panthers are favored in a game.
I meant the immediate future.
Okay, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. 3 out of 4, Tampa Bay wins?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
The immediate future, though, that Chargers game is huge.
Okay. Yes. Let me give you the Atlanta schedule.
I can't wait for that.
Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers.
So they're basically
3 out of 4.
They're flipping the schedule.
And guess what? That loss to Atlanta is huge because if they both go 3 and 4, Tampa Bay has the extra game.
True.
If Atlanta has one game up on it, they tie. Atlanta has it.
I'm with Connor. I think that game comes out to play a lot bigger than it seems like right now because I think both teams go 3 and 4. Personally,
yeah, exactly.
But
I have more faith that Baker's not going to lose the Panthers, Eagles. This was the stats don't. Okay, 19 of 34, 194 or 191 yards, a touchdown, interception. I don't care. That was the best I've seen Bryce Young look, and I mean that very complimentary. He was under fire the whole game, and he just worked in the pocket so incredibly well. And look, Adam Thielen maybe isn't washed, but the Panthers don't have real NFL targets for Bryce Young to throw the football to. That was evidence of the fact that Xavier Legette was targeted 8 times and caught 2 passes, including one where it should have been a game winner on a 98-yard drive to beat the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles.
I will say,
and it would be the big capper on Bryce Young's comeback after an awful start, and he worked his way back.
Is it funny? He has 4 comeback wins. All his wins are comeback wins. It's really funny. It's really funny.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's
he
really
should have
funny.
More.
No, he should have more because he's
been
that good.
If Chuba didn't fumble, if Legette didn't have hands,
right,
or forgot his hands,
he should have 6 or 7, I think. I mean, you can name games last year where he came back and then they blew the game late. Like, I think Bryce Young has showed that he deserves an opportunity to be the QB next year. He deserves an opportunity. I mean, absolutely, 100%.
It shouldn't be like, and he's going to be competing against. It should be like
it's
don't
his
bring
job.
in like Daniel Jones to compete with Bryce Young. Like, it should just be Bryce Young's job.
But you're talking about with the pocket manipulation, like the moving in the pocket, Mitchell. Like that's what makes Bryce Young special. Like
that's what I loved about him in Alabama.
Yeah,
because he did a really good job of throwing from muddy pockets. Like that comeback win that he had against Auburn when he was at Alabama. That was a really impressive drive. Very similar. I think he led them like 96, 97 yards down the field. Right. And it looked very similar, except for the fact that he was throwing to Alabama receivers that had hands that could caress the ball and bring it in, as opposed to Xavier Legette.
Right. His receiver room in college is better than the receiver room he has now.
Okay, let's be real. He did pick by Alabama, though.
I hate to say that, but like let's be honest.
No, I mean he's not throwing the ball to Evan Tompkins at Alabama.
I mean, we can name the receivers he was throwing to in Alabama. I mean, they're all NFL receivers.
I know he had Mechie. Who else did he have? the transfer portal has ruined my brain.
Yeah,
as far as remembering who was there at a certain period of time.
Look, Mechie makes up for like 90% of that. So let's just.
Although Mechie hasn't necessarily had the greatest pro career, but let me see who he was throwing to in that Auburn game. Meanwhile, while we look that up, Eagles.
Okay, here. Amari Cooper, pretty young in 20.
What? No, he wasn't throwing the ball to Amari Cooper.
Stupid AI bullshit.
Yeah, AI gave you some BS. I heard the same
that's
thing.
not right. Amari Cooper was on the Cowboys.
That's it. I was like, wait, 2012. What's going on with AI?
No, Brandon, we got to retract that statement. He was throwing the ball to Jermaine Burton, Ja'Cory Brooks, Kendrick Law, Isaiah Bond. I think will make a good.
Isaiah Bond, yeah, I like him.
He had Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield.
That is nice to have.
I think. Maybe we're overstating how good his Alabama receiving corps was.
Yeah, this wasn't one of the top tier Alabama
Gosh,
teams.
It just wasn't like
They
the
didn't even go
Julio
to playoffs.
Jones Alabama team. Yeah.
No, he didn't have the Calvin Ridleys and the Jalen Waddles and Devontae Smiths. But
okay, I would make that statement. I still think he just, like Mitchell says, like I like Thielen, I like David Moore, I like Jatavion Sanders. They're
Go get
really
some T.
not NFL. Yeah.
Go get some T. Higgins.
And look, I like Leggett. I think Leggett's good. And I'll be fair.
Why?
I'll be fair to Leggett. I don't think that's a routine catch. That's a catch you should make in the NFL, but I don't think it's routine. I don't think it's like, oh, he dropped a ball like Ted Ginn Jr. does.
You traded
like,
up in the first round to get this guy.
Well, I mean, I don't. This is what I think. This is what I think about Leggett's skill set. He's a basketball player playing football. That's what I think about his skill set. He doesn't really run away from guys. He can post up, he can jump for the ball, and his biggest strength is he can separate because he's so big and so athletic. He's basically an NBA basketball player playing football, is how I look at him as his skill set.
Well, then what separates him from a guy like Funchess or Kelvin Benjamin? Just a big doofus that can't catch the ball.
The athleticism. I mean, would you say that he's more athletic than Funchess? Probably.
Nah, not more athletic than Kelvin Benjamin coming out.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that the Panthers like have this mold of like receivers that they keep going after.
Yeah, here's one from Alabama. I'm looking through this, still looking through that. Jameson Williams, 2021.
Yeah, Jameson Williams is a good one. Going to Jameson.
Yeah.
Like Jameson's a freak. Like,
yeah, he's a
freak. I mean, let's be like. If he had Jameson Williams and Ja'Cory Brooks on his team, would it be better than David Moore and Adam Thielen? Like, maybe. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I like where Bryce Young is at, and that's my biggest thing. Is this is actually the perfect storm for the Panthers because again, I will reiterate, they're fucking losing games, and their draft stock keeps going up. So I am all for it. I am all for them continuing to lose games.
Let's talk about a quarterback that played at Alabama and is throwing to Alabama receiver, at least, in Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts, 108 passing yards for the Eagles.
How much does Saquon have? Because that's the conversation.
Saquon had 124.
124, okay.
Yeah, Hurts had 59, so we definitely added some value on the ground.
Yep.
But this was a game where, and then afterwards, Brandon Graham was like, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown aren't exactly on good terms right now.
So the comments after the game, when Jalen Hurts is asked in the press conference, what is wrong with the offense? He goes, communication, we're not on the same page. The reporter follows up with, it is week 14 of the NFL season. How are you not on the same page? And he goes, I already answered the question. And I was like, first of all, I'm like, that's kind of addicting to say, but also that's like perfect journalism.
That's great.
He followed it up. Yeah. Like he was like, what do you mean the communication is bad? It's week 14. What's going on? So maybe he's referencing like him and Jalen fighting.
AJ Brown also said they were asked what's wrong, which is hilarious because they won the game and they're 11-2.
Yeah, I know they won the game. They're 11-2, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And it's like,
"What's wrong with you?" But AJ Brown was asked what's wrong, and he just said the passing game.
Right. I will. I'll fully say.
Something.
Look, I've been on the bandwagon that I think Hurts should be more of like a facilitator and not like a guy who really like sits back there and like dissects defenses, and that's not his strong suit. Like I don't think that's who he is as a QB. But I also think like that's what they were trying to get him to do. Like Kellen Moore was like, I got to call more plays for Jalen. But when you have Saquon in the backfield, you gotta just hand the ball off. Like maybe AJ Brown's like upset about it, and like I don't want to put words in AJ's mouth because I don't know him. I don't know what's going on. But like, I mean, it sounds very diva-ish to be like, it's the passing game. Like, okay, like, but you guys are 11-2, and Saquon's having maybe one of the best years a running back has ever had. Like, I understand you're AJ Brown and you want the football, but maybe for this team, you're just a guy who makes like 2 to 4 catches a game that are like huge, and the rest is let's get the ball to Saquon, let's run with Jalen Hurts. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to AJ Brown. He's an awesome talent. He's awesome, but maybe your role isn't to catch the ball 8 times a game.
Hey, Brandon. I want you to. I don't know why I keep coming to you for phrases and words, but we're gonna come back to you for phrases and words.
Well, I already messed up the first ones.
What did Tommy call me when I picked the Rams to beat the Bills last week? What was the turn of phrase?
I was not here for that, so I can't comment on that.
By Mr. Grant.
I actually don't want to misquote him, so I will get it into. Yeah, I don't.
An asinine moron.
Yeah, I don't want to misquote him.
That's what it was.
An asinine moron. I thought it was an idiotic
moron.
I thought it was an idiotic moron, but no, it was asinine.
No, asinine moron. Well, this asinine moron correctly predicted that the Los Angeles Rams would beat the Buffalo Bills, and lo and behold, they fucking did it. 44-42 in a game with no defense played. The Rams get the win. Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns in the air, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Puka Nacua had a huge game. Matt Stafford played great. Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns. This was an incredibly fun game to watch, unless you are an NFC playoff team, because the Rams are catching a little bit of fire right now, and the NFC West has been just kind of, and we'll kind of mold this one in to Seahawks Cardinals as well, because I think the Cardinals are kind of fading out a little bit, as they tend to do this time of year. Seahawks
my addiction 30 is also fading.
Cardinals 18.
I do want to let
I
you
also
know.
predicted that one correctly, and Brandon, maybe you can pick against the Cardinals. Now,
maybe my addiction, I believe, is fading on the Cardinals, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to
I think I picked 49ers in that matchup. I didn't remember that.
By the way, but you couldn't have picked the 49ers because it was between the Seahawks and Cardinals. So, you picked. You picked the Seahawks.
Yeah,
the Seahawks.
The Cardinals lost.
Good pick. Just always go against Kyler. Good pick.
No, it was
Connor. Did you know that Brandon has not picked against the Cardinals since week 1 when they played the Bills?
I was there 2 weeks ago.
That's what I've been
referencing. Just the most insane stat you could ever see. But the Seahawks defense really playing well right now. Jackson Smith and Jigba playing well. And the run game, which I think is what the Seahawks really want to do.
Charbonnet.
Walker.
Without Walker. Which if Charbonnet is running the ball like this, maybe keep riding the hot hand.
No.
Fantasy team, but
as a person who has multiple teams with Kenneth Walker stock, fuck Shaq Charbonnet. I can't say that enough. Shaq Charbonnet.
Yeah, he was playing like Shaq, just pushing people out of the way.
I call him box wine. I know that's not right because Charbonnet is not a wine, but I call him box wine.
It's very funny.
I call him box wine.
Yeah.
So I just want him.
Slap the bag, baby.
Yeah, slap the bag, Franzia. No,
but the bag was Buda Baker.
Gosh, oh man.
Gino's still not playing well.
No, look,
Gino has not been playing well for like a month. It's been the defense.
Yeah,
do you want to get into the crux of it?
Fire.
This is why I can't pick the Seahawks every week, because Gino's going to go out there. He's going to throw 1 or 2 picks in like the worst time possible. And then you're going to be like, why did I back Gino? Like, why did I back the Seahawks? And then all of a sudden they're going to win the game because of like the run game or the defense. It happens like half the time. So I just don't think I think this was, in this matchup, particularly the Cardinals and the Seahawks, I think it was a clashing of two polar opposites in terms of this. Kyler Murray's been playing really bad, and Geno Smith was like, I'm gonna try to one up you a little bit, but then my run game is gonna make the difference here. And I thought the Cardinals' run game was gonna be better, and I don't think James Conner did enough. And again, why aren't they running the ball with him? Like we've been saying it week after week. Why is James Conner not basically getting run into the ground on a last year of a day?
Yeah, it's insane. These are two teams that were like, run the ball, run the ball.
Right,
and the Seahawks finally, even though it's with their backup running back, it's a really talented backup running back in Charbonnet, they finally leaned into it and ran away with this game pretty early. It was 24-10 at the half, and the Cardinals couldn't ever really catch get their feet underneath them in the second half of this game. Call it right now. NFC West, 2 wins. I'm sticking with Seattle.
You keep asking this question. I just
because it keeps changing, Brandon.
Like
the Rams.
Gosh, I know, right?
Okay. So fun fact, as you guys have been just chatting for the past 5 minutes, I've been
go ahead.
I was looking through all 4 of their schedules. And
I guess honestly, I should look at the schedule.
I said 3 because I even checked the Cardinals because I don't believe in them at all.
Oh, you don't believe in the Cardinals?
No, I think they're out.
What is the standings? Are the Cardinals a game behind now?
They're 2 games behind.
Two games.
Seahawks 8-7.
Same with San Fran.
Yeah, 8-5 Seahawks, 7-6 Rams, 6-7 Cardinals, 6-7 49ers.
Okay, so I am going to say Seahawks, just because they're going to run the ball. They have to, right?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Okay, Brand, do you have the schedule up?
I don't have the schedules up.
Okay. Who do you take a guess who the next opponent is?
Is it the Panthers? No, I'm
nope.
just kidding. It's I have the picks in
front of which team?
No. This is for the Seahawks. Don't put the picks. Don't look it up.
Oh no.
Don't look it up. Don't do that.
Oh, it's the Packers.
Okay, who's the next game against?
Is it the Cardinals?
No, the Packers is the hit.
They don't play them 3 times.
I don't know. I really don't.
The Vikings.
They're playing the NFC North.
They're playing the NFC North this year. They're the Packers and Vikings.
Is that the joke?
Both at home, but back to back. And then you have the Bears.
But they're going to
Bears, and
they're going to win one
Rams.
of those games. Mark my words, they're going to win one of those games.
I don't think
because they're going to run the football.
Maybe both.
I think they'll lose.
I
think they lose.
No, don't say both. Don't say both.
But here's the thing.
Hey, man.
Even to lose one of those games, you're at LA for your final game, and LA has currently won the first match.
Yes, they do.
Right.
So if they win in there and there's a tiebreaker, they have the tiebreaker.
Right. So you think LA is the best?
I think they're equivalent. I think it'd be a good game.
Because there's also a world.
We might get that. Might be the Sunday night, Week 18 winner wins the NFC West game.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that the loser isn't in the wild card. The loser is out.
Because the Rams have
win or go home.
Rams have is a big game. 49ers this week. The Jets
Thursday night.
The Jets I have no confidence in.
There's a
Cardinals,
world where the Rams,
confidence.
There's
Seahawks.
a world where the Rams lose twice. Is my point.
It has to be.
Mitchell talked glowingly about the offense, about how it looks so awesome, and yet it's been so inconsistent this year that the Rams.
Well, the Rams also they played the Saints just the week prior, and it was the first time McVay had been shut out in the first half as the head coach of the Rams. Which, boy, would I love to have a situation like that. But it's still wow, it was kind of crazy.
But the thing is,
it's just a world where they could lose 2 games, Connor, is my point.
The thing is, this is the team that actually has it's real. Usually they don't not known for this, but the Rams defense has been really good.
Yeah, I will say
They have a really good young defensive
they've
front.
literally been
Okay. They have held like the two. They only have had 2 teams that scored over 30 points this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was the most recent team.
One was 4. So I'm sorry, three. Bills, Eagles, and the other one was the Cardinals in week 2. Otherwise, hit the Lions under 30. They
in
kept
overtime.
the Packers under 30.
Gosh.
Packers is an injured love, so we can cancel that one out. But the Vikings scored 30. Like the Dolphins with Tua back scored only 15. Scored 23. But like this is a team where their defense plays well. Their offense can ignite whenever they want to. Like let's be real, Puka again looked amazing.
Yeah, Puka looked good.
And they're playing against teams where the 49ers, I take the Rams on that. The Jets, of course, I take the Rams. The Cardinals, they are just putting around, just kick to the side, and then they play the Seahawks, which I think would be a good game. But at that point, I think the Rams already have everything sealed up.
Spin zone because we love it. You know, the Cardinals have the best talent.
Not on defense.
Not on defense, on offense.
I think they have good pieces, but like
no.
I want to say overall.
I think they have the worst talent actually.
I mean, go through the wide receiver and tight end and running backs, and you tell me that they don't.
Okay, they have the best tight end.
The 1A,
Marvin Harrison
the 1A
Jr.
every.
No, I'll take Puka and Cooper Kupp over Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson, and also take Kupp and Nakua and JSN and DK.
You're taking Geno and Matt Stafford over Kyler.
With Geno with JSN and DK over Kyler with Marvin Harrison, who he refuses to throw the ball to.
It was a spin zone.
And
I'm
Trey
not
McBride.
saying it was correct. I'm just spinning.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a good. I mean, Trey McBride's been balling, but you know,
he can't find the end zone.
Here's the thing with the Cardinals. I think they're still just too young.
Yeah.
They're a year away.
They're a year away.
I was a year or two, but like they're on the cusp. They need to shore up the defense a little more.
Every time
they have picks to do that.
Yes.
Every time I watch them, and I watch them every week, it just feels like there's.
You pick them every week.
I know, but I pick them every week. There's like 3 or 4 plays a game where I'm like, fuck, if they just make the correct decision, do the right thing, you win the game. And so I can't quit them, and maybe that's the problem. But I think there's a world where the Rams aren't in the playoffs, and that seems wild to me to say, but I think it's a real possibility.
All right, let's speed through. Let's speed through a couple games really quickly, Connor. Let's not dive too deep into the misery. Dolphins get the win in overtime, 32-26 over the Jets. I was at the point where I was rooting for losses a month ago, so I was extremely happy to see this. Aaron Rodgers actually, I thought Rodgers actually played quite well in this game, and Garrett Wilson made Jalen Ramsey his bitch all night. So that was fun to watch. But at the same time,
are we entering Aaron Rodgers fakes an injury to get out of this?
He's not playing for the Jets next year. That's not going to happen.
No, I understand that. Yeah. I'm saying fake an injury to just like sit out the rest of the season.
I don't think he'll do that.
Like that territory.
I think he still has. He has this pride that he wouldn't do that.
Okay, fair.
Dolphins get the win. Tyreek Hill looks more like Tyreek Hill. 10 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Tua plays well. Dolphins keep their season alive. And big one on Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs and their devil magic get the win. 19. So now no one will be calling it devil magic if the kicker just kicked it in between the uprights. It would just be Mahomes and the Chiefs find a way to win a game. And this was more along the lines of the Chiefs and like stuff that I respect the Chiefs for, where it's like Mahomes just kind of finds a way to extend a play and find someone open. And he's always been the best at that since entering the league. And when he first entered the league, it was, okay, and then I'm going to chuck it 60 yards down the field. But now it's dink and dunk, and it's a little bit more quote-unquote boring to watch, but it's a lot more strategic, and it's a lot more backbreaking because it's death by 1,000 cuts. And I think the Chargers were ready to play big boy football in this game, but the Chiefs just came out and did their thing.
Honestly, I think it's props to the Chargers in this game. Like, no,
Herbert was getting beat up,
he was,
as he does every time they play the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs defense is good.
No, yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't think the Chiefs are that bad. You know what I mean? Like their defense is good.
But the Chargers,
This was an easy under to pick because both of these defenses are strong.
Yeah, and like this is how Chargers want to play football in the first place. Is they want to keep it tight and they want to pound the rock and then go with it.
Not to bring
they
up
do want to run it better.
Not to bring up old quotes, but Harbaugh has Ryan Day in a blender when he said some people were bored on third base and think they hit a triple. Like Harbaugh wants to play like smash mouth football. He doesn't care about anything else. He wants to run the ball into your face. And I think they're missing Dobbins. I think that is an issue. But yeah, these defenses are really good.
They also missed McConkey in that game.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, Pacheco coming back though, or your rah.
Oh my gosh.
That could be a huge thing for them.
Yes.
He runs. Speaking of guys who run hard, he runs hard. Yes. Like I have never seen a dude run so hard into the line for first.
You know how I make fun?
6 yards. Like it's crazy.
You know how I make fun of Tom Cruise, and I'm like, oh, he's chopping wind. Pacheco does that, but with his feet. You know?
Yes.
Yep.
He's stabbing the ground.
Chopping. He's like, all right, I'm chopping grass. I'm making a salad.
These memes are hilarious. People will take like Isaiah Pacheco runs, and then they'll put them side by side with like rugby runs, where the guy's just like running through dudes and like running through tackles, and they're like Isaiah Pacheco in the first quarter when this run means absolutely nothing. And like the 40-yard line, and he just like smashes into someone, and the guy's like holding on to him for dear life to try to drag him down. Like that's Isaiah Pacheco. Like that's what he does. Every single run is like life or death, basically, which is crazy to me. I don't think you can play football a long time playing that way, but I mean, he's such a big, like, not even big. He's just built like he's just a strong.
He's a tank. That's what he is. He's just forward.
It is time for the Week 15
I do want to say, though, I'm very happy to pick the Chargers, though, because they fought.
He just wanted to say that his picks were, like,
I was proud with the Chargers.
Second week of picks, Mitchell.
Hey, I picked the Chargers, too, so.
I know. I'm proud picking them, because, honestly, they fought.
I would rather pick the team that won the game, but
now you can go into this
Rams and 49ers. Again, another big one on Thursday Night Football. I think the Niners need this one to stay alive. Gosh. Maybe the Rams do too. Like, I don't want to say they can't afford a loss here, but it would really, really hurt.
It would hurt, yeah.
I am going to pick the Los Angeles Rams. I think they're just on fire right now, and I think that continues. And the Niners just too beat up at the moment to keep that going.
Yeah, I've said multiple times on this podcast, I agree with Bill Simmons that this is the Niners season from hell. I'm going to continue that and say that this is their season from hell, but they battle back and get a nice win against the Rams. Give me Juwan Jennings scores 2 touchdowns in this game.
I love how you said I agree with him, and then you disagreed with him.
No. I agree that it's the season from hell. But I think they do a nice job.
Wouldn't they lose this game in the season from hell?
No. I think they go 7-7. I think they get back to 500 and have a chance to win the division.
All right, Connor, can we bring some sense back into this?
Rams.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. Good. All right.
I want 7-7. I
would say this.
I want all of these teams to be like 8-7.
Brandon, do you think they cover?
The 49ers?
It's Niners -3.
I mean, yeah, they kind of have to cover if I'm taking them, I think.
Tommy is also on the Rams, so
you're
on your own, Brandon.
4.
Yeah.
Commies at Saints, and Derek Carr out for the season with a I think he had a broken hand or something along those lines. It was not a good injury. I don't know if they're starting Hayner or if they're starting Rattler. whoever they're starting, I'm taking the Commanders, and I think the Commanders win this one big. It's a 7.5 spread. Definitely give me Washington there.
Yep. Same here. Commanders.
Yeah, I think this is Jaden Daniels like get on track game. I guess would be a good way of putting it. So yeah,
Give me a bye this week, so that too.
Yeah, I mean off a bye, Cliff
was...
Kingsbury is about to draw some stuff up.
I love how you said it was his get back on track game, as if his last game they didn't win 42-19 and he had 4 touchdowns.
Okay, but so he's getting back on track. He's getting back on track. I don't know.
He's ready on the track. Now he's pumping those wheels.
Now he's
stop fooling around, Jaden.
He's actually going to get into the end zone again and just do the Jerry McCain like TikTok dance again. He's just like in the end zone.
Chiefs at Browns. I'm just not taking the Chiefs to. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game, but against the spread, I'm just not taking the Chiefs to cover anything this year because they just play every game incredibly close. By the way, Tommy also on the Commanders, and he's taking the Chiefs here too.
Chiefs here as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs, but I'm actually gonna say they cover against Jameis and the Browns, which is wild to me. I don't know if I would be saying they're gonna cover, but yeah, I'm going to cover.
Something I want you guys to notice is a lot of these games, apart from the Rams 49ers, which is a Thursday night game, are very lopsided games. These are the 1 o'clock games we're going through first. I think that whoever created the schedule for this week should be publicly beaten. And we'll get into why.
Mitchell, later. They make this schedule months in advance. How are they
can flex. Flex. They can flex some stuff. Bengals at Titans. This is a Bengals favored by 5. I think the Titans cover, but give me the Bengals to win.
Nah, Bengals cover the spread.
Yeah. Are the Bengals eliminated?
No.
Technically not.
Look, the Bengals don't want to beat the playoffs. I had high hopes for them this year, but they're
5-8.
I know.
Yeah, but defense is not good, but
they're not rolling over. And even with their putrid defense, Tennessee's not going to do much against them.
I think Burrow and Chase might go on a God run.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
You just want them to go on a God run because you have Jamar Chase.
As a Jamar Chase owner, I've been riding this high, and I had Jamar Chase and Josh Allen on my fantasy team last week. And it was
man, what a pairing!
It was beautiful.
Jamar Chase, Brandon and I were competing for the 1 seed, and Jamar Chase got him the 1 seed by 3 points over me on that touchdown. I wanted the 2 seed. It's a better matchup. So, but no, I'm really upset about not getting the 1 seed there.
Lisa Simpson, put her foot in the ground and send it to the house.
Yeah. So you taking Cincy, Brandon?
Yeah, Cincy. Actually, give me the cover too. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Tommy takes the Titans. So
wow.
Yeah. Well, putting your hopes on Will Levis.
Remember the Titans when he loses this.
Yeah. Remember the Titans, but forget Will Levis. Dolphins at Texans, definitely the best 1 o'clock game. Tommy, to no one's surprise, is taking the Dolphins, but maybe to some people's surprise, I'm going to join him and take Miami on the road against Houston. I know they're coming off a bye, but this Texans team just kind of seems like they're in free fall mode to me personally, and I think the Dolphins are starting to, now that they're not playing in Green Bay, they're playing a game in a dome, and I think their next game's going to be in sunny San Francisco. They can kind of get a little bit of momentum going and make things interesting at least.
I'm on the same boat with you. I'm taking the Dolphins.
All right.
So I agree with everything you said, Mitchell, but I'm going the other way.
But you're going to pick the Texans. I know.
Twilight Zone. Texans just win this game for some unknown reason. Give me the Texans and CJ Stroud.
In one of the biggest spreads we've seen so far this year. By the way, that Dolphins-Texans spread, Texans favored by 3. So definitely taking Miami on that one. Ravens-Giants. Oh my, this spread has gone up considerably.
So it was 14
Ravens.
and a half.
It was
What is it
13
now?
and a half when I first saw it. Now it's 16.
Yeah, that's
Ravens at
Bonkers.
Giants. Maybe it's just
a lot.
because it's Tommy DeVito now instead of Drew Lock. I think the back door is wide open on this one. Give me the Giants to cover, but clearly the Ravens win, and Tommy agrees.
Yeah, the Baltimore.
Is anyone taking the Giants to win this game?
We're picking money line. There's no reason to talk about this.
Honestly, it could be Ravens by 20.
Actually, yeah, give me Ravens by 35, and if you can find that somewhere, better.
I will try. Although all of my money is tied up in one game that we'll get to later. It's certainly not Jets Jaguars. I'll tell you that right now. Tommy's got Jacksonville. Jets are favored by 3.5, and I hate saying this so much.
You and me both.
I think the Jets win, and I also think the Jets cover.
Stop.
Mac Jones is the starter. Jacksonville's... really? You don't think the Jets can beat the Jaguars by 4 points?
The Jaguars are bad. I agree. I don't like either of these teams. I want to abstain from picking.
No, it's the Jacksonville's just a dumpster. They're a dumpster fire that's floating on the river.
A different type of dumpster fire than the Jets.
How is Doug still the coach? How is he still in the building?
Maybe they get like a free Sonic gift card if they fire him at the end of the year.
Maybe. All that said, give me the Jaguars.
Oh my God!
You're a bitch.
Dude,
you're a bitch.
I think the Jets are so bad. I just don't know.
The Jaguars bad. The Jaguars are a different type of bad.
Hey, to give you know that I hate the Jets more than anyone that's ever lived. I also love the Jets more than anyone that's ever lived. It's a very toxic relationship. But the Jets have played the majority of teams, good, bad, or otherwise, very close this year. They just lost all those damn close games.
Yes.
So, yeah. Give me the Jets here. Cowboys and Panthers. The Panthers are favored by 3. This has got to be the first time the Panthers are favored since it's gone up. Well, it's gone up since Monday Night Football. Right back at you, bitch. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game.
I love that. You're gonna be wrong.
Tommy's on Carolina.
Oh man,
Carolina, please. I think they will win this game.
Yeah, actually, the public I think is taking the Cowboys, which isn't surprising.
Really? I thought the public would be on Bryce Young and
the train.
Yeah, especially since the Cowboys lost in a really stupid way on national television.
What else is new?
Yeah. So Doug Peterson's a bad coach. I don't think Canales is. Give me the Panthers.
All right. Now we're going into the 425 games. And again,
this is when I should come back to my TV.
Go do something else. I mean, if you just have like Dolphins Texans on and you're watching passively, that's cool. If you watch Jets Jaguars, you deserve everything.
Maybe have Red Zone on in the background.
Zone is the only way to watch this.
But not on volume. You know what I mean? You don't have the volume off while you just do it.
Buccaneers at Chargers is the first one we're gonna go with. Tommy's got the Chargers, and I gave a lot of thought to going Tampa here. But I think I'm going to stick with the Chargers. I think this is going to be a very close game. It's strange. The Chargers are favored by 3, and yet I'll take Tampa to cover, but I still think the Chargers win.
Unlike most games where I just give you a vibes pick, Mitchell, I'm going to give you some analysis. I think Derwin James playing near the box as a safety.
You picked him to win the Heisman.
Absolutely ball out and get a lot of tackles this week. Give me the Chargers to cover.
Is he on your fantasy team too? Oh yeah, that's right. He is. Yeah.
Of course he is.
You have a bye this week. You don't need him.
Hold on. Derwin James is really good near the box as a tackler. Give me Derwin James.
Oh, and we all know those are things that win you the fucking Heisman.
They win you games when all the other team can do is turn around and hand the ball to Bucky Irving. So yeah, they do win you games.
Is Mike Evans chopped liver now?
No, he's not. I'm just saying. As much as I love Baker, give me Harbaugh. I think this team's going to go on a little bit of a run here.
Chargers
Connor?
as well.
Yeah, thank you,
Nice.
Chargers. We don't
It's unanimous, I think.
the defense,
All right.
baby.
Again, another not even 405. We have no 405 games this week. 425. Colts at Broncos. This is a giant game in the AFC wildcard
A
picture.
giant game. I don't think I would have said that 4 weeks ago.
Tommy's got the Broncos, and you know what? The Broncos are favored by 4. Give me the Colts.
Right.
I think the Colts go into Denver and I think this is a Bo Nix struggle game here. I'm just calling that shot now. He's gonna throw for 6 touchdowns, guaranteed. Now that I said that, but
God.
maybe it'll be a Jameis and he throws like 3 to his team and 3 to the other team. But
6 touchdowns and 3 pick sixes.
yeah, please deliver me, Lord, deliver me from these pick sixes.
I think the public is on the Broncos, and I totally understand why. I mean, Bo Nix has looked awesome. Give me the QB run game of the Colts. I think they're about to QB power the shit out of the Broncos here. Give me Colts.
Hold on.
To win.
Connor,
outright.
Whose fantasy team do you think Anthony Richardson's on? This man is just picking for his fantasy team.
That's what sounds like.
You have a bye this week. You don't need anything.
I have the second most correct picks, and we think I'm just picking based on fantasy team.
And guess what? Brent? I'm number 1, and I'm going Broncos, baby.
I can't wait.
Reason why.
Ooh, all right, we got a nice split.
Broncos. I think that honestly,
You have Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I do. I picked against Cortland Sutton.
Oh,
it's the defense for me. The defense is just too good, and I think that they're just going to spy him the whole time, and they're just going to not let Richardson do anything.
The Broncos' best asset is the secondary outside of that one bad corner that they have because of injury.
Yeah.
Surtain is very good.
throw at his ass.
Their safeties are good. Don't throw at him. QB power the other way. Like, let's just run the ball all day long. You have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, too. I love this Colts run game. I do. I think the Colts are going to run all over them.
All right, we still have the best 425 game still to come. But the 425 game that, given how good the other 425 games are, might have a combined 3 people watching it, is the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 6. Tommy's got the Cardinals. I've got the Cardinals winning this game too, and I actually think they cover that number.
Go ahead, Connor.
I don't like this game.
I don't like it either.
Well, I didn't ask you to like it. I just asked you to pick it.
I almost think Patriots fans are rooting for Drake May to play well and then to lose the game.
Yeah, they're rooting for the exact same thing that you're rooting for with the Panthers.
Right.
Except I think most Panthers fans are rooting for wins to build up Bryce's confidence.
Right.
At least that's the vibe I'm picking up.
That is the vibe.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals.
Man,
I
do sweep this?
I do think it's going to be close, but like,
it's
more so
cover.
I think there will be a backdoor cover, but I do think the Cardinals. The Cardinals is just that much better than the Patriots defense. That the Patriots Patriots offense would not be able to keep up.
That's fair.
Like the
their offense is bad. We're talking about how much Bryce Young doesn't have. Like, their offense is bad. If we're being honest, right? I mean,
yeah.
So you're on the Cardinals.
Do it.
I think this is a game where it's more like high scoring, and I think the Patriots just win some stupid game, and I think I'm going to pick against the Cardinals this week.
Yes, he's going to lose. The only time you pick against, he's going to lose.
So hold on, let me get this straight. You've picked the Cardinals every single game since week 1, and the time you decided to pick against them is a home game against the Patriots.
Man, I'm telling you. They like, yes, I was defending them earlier and was like, oh, spin zone, like they have the best offense in the NFC West.
Wait, where the hell did that go?
The actual answer is this team is in free fall. This team is not good.
Oh,
this team can't defend.
Where have you been?
They can't play offense. They can't play offense. Kyler Murray has regressed. Give me the Patriots. Like that's the actual answer to the question. I'm weaning myself off the addiction. I'm going the other way. Patriots.
And he's gonna pick it wrong.
I know.
So
It's
to quote
gonna be wrong.
Brandon Tew's famous quote, "I am a liar. Don't believe what I say." But yeah, no. Let's get to the 425 games
It's content,
that
baby. What are you talking about?
Bills at Lions.
Yeah, that's content.
425. What a fantastic game. Most people want this to be the Super Bowl.
Why is this 425? Play this at 10:30 at night. Like, what are we doing? Flex it.
The
Like,
hell's wrong with you?
Well, I'm just saying, flex it. You know, like
10:30.
why are we playing at 425?
You want this game to end at 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
We're all these in time zone. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't care.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I want them to play
Why,
Sunday
dude?
Night Football at 8 p.m. and then I want this game to start at 10 p.m. right after Monday Night Football.
To be fair, I'm not working on Monday, so do whatever the hell you want. But
Right, that's what I'm saying.
The Bills at Lions. Tommy's got the Lions.
Oh God.
I have not picked against the Lions, I think, all year.
I think that's the same for me.
Until today.
Okay.
I think Buffalo recovers and they win at Detroit.
That's crazy.
Lions. I love Detroit a lot. I think their defense is great. I think their offense is great. I don't think the Bills can actually handle a team that can play both sides of the ball.
I can't just answer anything simply,
The
Mitchell.
Chiefs.
I will say, I just saw the movie Wicked, the musical, again for the second time.
This is the weirdest tangent I think I've ever heard.
Wicked, fantastic movie. At one point, during the Wizard of Oz, they say lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! Give me the Lions because it's oh my. They're just that good. So
just pick the damn Lions. Just say I just say outright. I don't have any Lions on my fantasy team, but I'm gonna pick them anyway. You know.
I have Jameer Gibbs. Hold on, I have Jameer Gibbs in a different league.
Different league, yeah. Steelers at Eagles.
I just wanted to promote
425.
A good musical.
425. We got Steelers and Eagles. A 10-win team playing an 11-win team. Most people, that's going to be like their second screen game.
Lexus the Tuesday night? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand.
Colts, Broncos, and Bucks Chargers are big games that like no one's going to see. Steelers and Eagles. Tommy's got the Steelers. By the way, Lions minus 2.5. Do you guys think the Lions cover?
Yes.
Yeah, if I'm going Lions, I'm picking the cover.
Okay. Eagles are favored by 5.5 at home at this game. And strangely enough, I'm going to take the Eagles. And I think they cover that number. I just think this is a game where the Steelers just don't really get anything going.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is like a Saquon. I don't know.
Like, it's a Saquon game.
If you turn around and hand the ball off to Saquon 22 times, how many yards is he going to get?
What is this, a math question? If Saquon Barkley is 86 tomatoes, and he has to score a touchdown with each of the tomatoes.
Give me Eagles and to cover the 5.5. I don't know where Connor looks like he's in distress.
I'm kind of expecting Connor to take Pittsburgh here.
I actually am taking Pittsburgh.
He loves the steel curtain. Nice. He loves.
I've been high on them, and honestly, for this one, I think that I think that Saquon will have a good game, but I don't think it's gonna matter much.
Yeah, I will say that defense is good.
I think it's okay. When the Steelers played the Ravens, how many yards did Derrick Henry have?
That's a great question.
I'm asking, and that's why I was looking back. But yeah, how many yards rushing? How many yards rushing did Derrick Henry have? Just flat out. I'm asking. I know the answer. I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking.
Let's go with 56.
Yeah, let's go with 87.
Mitchell was closer. 65.
65.
It was a total of 120.
Flip the numbers.
Lamar had 46 alone, but on 4 carries himself. But still.
Oh, but but this is where the Ravens messed up. 13 carries.
And that's the thing. Even then, yeah. But
turn around and hand the ball off to your best player. Just do it. Just do it.
what I think it's going to happen though, I think Saquon will get 20 carries. But even if Saquon gets 100 yards, I don't think the 100 yards would be productive enough for him to carry the game himself. And like honestly, I think the Eagles defense is still not great. Like they have been like even like last year going to
You can say it. Cooper
I will-
DeJean doesn't do it for you, right? Cooper
I
DeJean
will say one thing. George Pickens will probably not play this game.
That does
So that
change.
Steelers receiver core is going to be kind of rough.
Can they trade for Deontay Johnson? Can they bring Deontay Johnson back?
Yeah, Pickens isn't playing.
Connor, I do want to expand on the Eagles defense really quickly. What about them don't you like? The linebackers, the defensive line, the defensive backs, like what? Because like to me, I think they're talented, but I do agree with you that
yes,
like inconsistencies.
It's always been their secondary, like even especially from last year. I think they got better at the secondary. I'm not saying they're happy.
You don't like Quinyon?
Yeah, I like Quinyon, and I like.
I'm saying as a whole unit. Like again, they weren't great last year, and I still think that does continue. But it's more so the fact that like they are letting teams always kind of sit around, and
like, they're the Chiefs of the NFC. It's what
they are the defensive version of the Chiefs when it comes to defense. Like they kind of like they do their job, which good for them. Like I'm not saying that like they get the job done. And they have shut down some impressive teams on offense, like the Commanders and even Baltimore. But I do think that this is going to be a kind of a slog game. Like I wouldn't be surprised Najee Harris actually goes off in this game.
All right.
He's been playing well too.
Hey, Jalen Warren, I'm all for it. I'm all for that.
We have one more fantastic Sunday night game. Packers Seahawks.
Oh man.
And Packers favored by 3, but you know what? I think Seattle, it's a home game for the Seattle Seahawks. And I think Seattle gets the job done because I think I've predicted this for like 2 or 3 straight weeks. And it hasn't happened, but the Seahawks have still won. I think that Geno plays well this game. I think we get, the Geno that we've seen the last year or two in this game. So let me get the Seahawks here. Tommy's got the Packers.
To buck the trend of Mitchell saying that I lie, I'm not going to go back on my word. I refuse to pick a team that has Geno Smith at quarterback right now. I just think he's going to throw 1 or 2 interceptions, and they're just going to find a way to lose this game. Give me the Packers because I think Jordan Love is he's that good.
Packers for me as well.
All right, I'm on.
Honestly, it's more so because of Packers defense than it is than the Seahawks offense.
Like I do think DK and JSN get theirs, but I don't think it's enough.
But yeah,
by the way,
I think the Packers are just that good that they can shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
We get another Monday night doubleheader.
I know,
but it's 2 like awful games. Okay, Bears at Vikings might not be awful. But the Vikings are favored by 7. Tommy's got the Vikings. I've got the Vikings. And I think the Bears cover. But I go back and forth because I think 7's kind of the perfect number.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It's a good number for the spread. I agree. It's his Vikings. And I'll cut the chase Atlanta too.
Chicago's looked good, right? I mean, I'm not making that up.
Not last week.
They've been fine, but they lost 5 straight.
Yeah, I think Chicago covers, but give me Vikings. They just pull out a game late again.
Yeah, I think they cover. Like, let's be real. Okay, their last 4 opponents, which have been a rough slate. Packers lost by 1. Yep. Minnesota lost by 3 in OT. Detroit lost by 3, and then they got their doors kicked in by San Francisco.
Like this almost feels like a trap game for the Vikings. Like, you just beat.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
You know what I mean? It's like a trap game.
But it helps that it's a home game.
It's 11.
If it was a road game, I'd be a little bit more like perfect trap game. But since it's at home, I think Minnesota gets the job done.
Yeah.
I just think this is like a weird game for the Vikings. I'm going to say Bears, actually. Give me Bears.
And honestly,
Really? All right.
with the close, like they played the Vikings 4 weeks ago. Like
I know, and it was close.
with the close proximity of it, I think the Minnesota will adjust to the Bears.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I will say Eberflus was the coach then, and not
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
I know you already got ahead of it, Connor. Got the Falcons. Tommy got the Falcons. Falcons at Raiders. This is the one that I have just all my eggs in this basket. I bet Falcons -4 because there is no such thing as a Desmond Ridder revenge game. It does not exist. It is not a thing. And that's going to be the starting quarterback for the Raiders because Minshew's hurt, Aiden O'Connell's hurt, and I don't care how bad Kirk is playing, there is no such thing as a Desmond Ridder revenge game.
yeah, I agree. But that's wild to put all your eggs in that basket. The quarterback play you were putting your eggs in is just.
You know what? I view it more as putting all of my eggs. You good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. As you can see, I just.
That was nature saying, "How dare you come to Desmond Ritter's defense?"
How dare I come to his defense?
Yeah, no, I was putting all my eggs in the anti-Desmond Ritter basket, and that's a basket I have more. I'll be like baby Moses floating down the river in that basket. I love that basket. So, yeah, a good slate of games, at least for the 425 slate.
Stuff fell. It's okay.
Yeah, well, stuff fell, and I think your record's going to fall after this week, too, because...
how dare you say that?
I mean...
I'm one game up on you, but I think it might expand out.
Wow, and I can't wait for my to go 11 and 5 this week.
I'm 16 games back, which... Yeah, that sounds about right. So, next week... is going to be a fun one to pick games because maybe there's going to be some good games spread out. Maybe. Oh, we've got Saturday games next week. We got Broncos Chargers on a Thursday, and then we got a Saturday with Texans Chiefs and Steelers Ravens, and then the 1:00 slate has Eagles Commanders and nothing else. Then we've got Vikings Seahawks at 4:00. Maybe 49ers Dolphins still means something. Maybe it doesn't. And then the primetime games are just awful. So next week is definitely a mixed bag. But join us next week when we pick those games and recap the games that we just picked. And maybe one of us will have some bragging rights.